Hello, my name is Stacy Porter, and this is my Change Initiative presentation.
My name is Stacy Porter. I am the Director of Business Affairs, and I would like to thank all of the executive leadership team members for inviting me here for the presentation today. Before I proceed with the presentation, I would like to go over the agenda. Purpose. I will go in depth about the purpose of our organization and why we are having this briefing. Problem. I'm going to talk to you about a major problem that I have observed within our organization over the last decade. Change initiative. I will describe my change idea and what would be achieved if it is successfully implemented. Importance. I will examine why it matters that we change the way we are currently doing business. The eight-stage process. To help facilitate the transformation I will present to you today, I will be using Dr. John Cotter's eight-stage process for leading change. Summary. Lastly, I will go over the main points of this presentation and answer any questions you may have. I would like to discuss the purpose, problem, and change initiative. The purpose of our organization is to provide industry leading, customized United States military style training, maintenance, and logistics support services to the Saudi Arabian armed forces in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Our organization is a paramilitary defense contractor, and the sole reason the company exists is to train the client's military forces. Regardless of where we are in the world, this is the company's purpose. Training foreign militaries is our way of life. With that being said, we are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to train the kingdom's soldiers. However, the organization is gradually drifting away from ensuring the client receives quality training and focusing more on the company's day to day support requirements and administrative duties. For example, as a part of ensuring that the client receives the quality of training they have paid for, leaders are supposed to conduct inspections of the training. However, over the last decade, organizational leaders have abandoned the technique of leader checks. Another example of how the organization focuses on other requirements other than training is that the company just installed a new swimming pool hot tub combination for employees. On the other hand, training classrooms are in shambles. The paint is falling off the walls, multiple restrooms and air conditioners are not operational. I would change our company's culture from an inwardly thinking culture to an outwardly customer service oriented culture by 2026. Over the next 5 years, our organization, its senior managers and supervisors need to focus on providing the customer the highest quality of training by conducting routine leader checks. The company's culture has become focused on what the organization can do to raise the morale of the employees instead of what the company can do to satisfy the customer. Employees are our biggest asset. However, as an organization, the client is who we are here to serve. And at a minimum, we must find a medium that works for both parties. Next, I would like to talk about the importance of why we need to make a change. And in discussing the importance of why we need to make a change, I'll talk about our reputation, the contract, and the bottom line. In our society, what is considered most important is reputation, because that is how others measure our worthiness. What matters in the real world is what others think of you, not what you think of yourself. That being said, it is what the customer thinks of our organization that will keep our company in Saudi Arabia, our employees employed, and our families fed. Our company was founded 90 years ago in 1931 and has been on contract in Saudi Arabia since 1975. The United States Army is the liaison working with the Saudis that awarded us the contract. The reason the United States Army and the Saudis awarded us and having maintained us on contract to train the Saudi armed forces for the last 46 years is because of our stellar reputation of high quality training. In our line of work, our reputation of providing unmatched high quality training is the difference between being awarded a multi-billion dollar contract and not being awarded a contract. Our reputation of providing the best military services not only has kept us employed in Saudi Arabia, but in other countries around the world. And even more importantly, our professional reputation will gain the organization multi-billion dollar contracts in the future. Leader checks play a significant role in sustaining high quality training. High quality training plays an essential role in maintaining our reputation as a world leading military training organization. If we are to remain under contract with Saudi Arabia, we must protect our reputation and not ignore the reason we are in Saudi Arabia. Another important reason we must focus on the client and the quality of their training is that we are in a contract rebid year. The contract is up for rebid, and if the Saudis are not content with our services, they have the option of hiring another company to train them. Just because we have been in the country for 46 years does not necessarily mean we will continue to be here. The ideology of thinking that we have been here for 46 years and will continue to be here will be discussed later when I talk about complacency. Another important reason we must focus on the client and the quality of their training is our bottom line. The last contract that the organization was awarded was $2.7 billion. The organization was awarded that amount because the Saudis wanted more of our professional services. If the organization puts its best foot forward and focuses on providing the professional services that we can, the Saudis may want more training. More training equates to a significantly larger contract than the last one. On the flip side, suppose we continue to concentrate on companies' day-to-day support requirements, administrative duties, and employee morale more than we focus on providing the clients high-quality training. If we do this, we run the risk of sacrificing our lucrative contract. The first step is establishing a sense of urgency. Establishing a sense of urgency means that the organization is trying to change the current situation. It means we want to push team members to no longer be complacent. It means we want everyone in the company to identify that it is critical to move forward sooner rather than later. Complacency is our biggest problem. The company has been in Saudi Arabia for 46 years. Most of our employees have been with the organization for over a decade. Since 1975, the organization has experienced massive success. This is important to know because employees will not recognize that there is a problem. After all, issues have been masked by success. When a company has a long history of success, the ideology of it is, if it is not broken, do not fix it. This becomes the company's culture. A large majority of our leaders, managers, and employees are retired military and have become complacent. They have the mentality of, if it is not broken, do not fix it. When there is too much complacency among leaders, it is difficult to change, which will lead to failure. If leaders, managers, and employees are complacent, there is no tangible reason to work on a transformation because we have not gotten employees to buy into a change is needed. Thus, they will not put in the effort required for a successful transformation. Urgency is the exact opposite of complacency. Increasing urgency demands that you remove sources of complacency or minimize their impact. To create a sense of urgency, I recommend revisiting and enforcing our current standard operations of procedures. I also recommend that we set some higher standards for our team members in supervisory positions. One of the higher standards that must be implemented is that leaders talk regularly to unsatisfied customers. Some potential challenges that we may face. Our number one challenge will be resistors. After the change plan has been explained, the organization will still have resistors that simply do not want to conform. When individuals have been identified as resistors, they should be terminated from the company. That sounds harsh, but the reason why they should be terminated from the company is because they can no longer be trusted as we go forward. The organization's transformation efforts will be undermined by resistors if they are allowed to stay. As we move forward, what the organization will need to do to be successful, we must agree that we require a culture change. One of the primary reasons for business failures was that they did not address organizational culture problems. By not dealing with cultural issues only worsens other matters. Employee commitment is required in helping move the change effort forward. Therefore, if urgency cannot be established, it is difficult to move to the next stage, which is creating a guiding coalition. We must address our complacency issues and remove sources of complacency. Across the board, the organization's complacency level is exceptionally high. Establishing a sense of urgency will help leaders and managers fight against complacency. We must address our resistor problem. The company is saturated with resistors in leadership and management positions. This is important to know because transformation is difficult when the executive and senior leadership are not active participants. During an organizational transformation, hardcore resistors should be removed. The second step is creating the guiding coalition, meaning in this step, we assemble a team that can work together and has enough power, expertise, credibility, leadership, and influence to lead our transformation. Observation. In my decades long observation, I believe that we have some leaders on staff that meet the criteria it takes to be a part of the guiding coalition. When building a guiding coalition, there are four key characteristics leaders should be looking for: position power, expertise, credibility, and leadership. Recommendation. In assembling the guiding coalition, we need to consider the quality of the coalition members that we assign to our team. An effective guiding coalition has the correct mixture of people at various levels within the organization. It is crucial to have the right individuals on the guiding coalition because leaders cannot order a transformation and expect it to happen. Senior leaders must empower others with enough executive power to work on their behalf for the change to be successful. That being said, I recommend that we consider the following as members of the guiding coalition: the director of training, the human resource department manager, the business affairs manager, the chief of operations, and the senior logistics manager. Potential challenges we may face: appointing the wrong people to be on the guiding coalition. Senior leaders can stifle the coalition's usefulness by assigning the wrong people to the team. Another concern that I have is a senior leader insisting that a person be added to the coalition because of a personal relationship. If if anyone on the guiding coalition is identified as substandard We must remove them immediately. Staff at any level can sabotage a transformation initiative. What the organization would need to do to be successful. To be successful, organizational leaders will have to select the best personnel to be members of the guiding coalition. Executives and senior leaders must stay involved with our coalition throughout the transformation initiative. The guiding coalition must be empowered with enough authority to work on behalf of the change initiative. The third step is developing a vision and strategy, meaning the change vision and strategy provide the company a clear depiction of what the future looks like after the transformation is executed. The change vision and strategy inform the company why they should denounce the past and embrace the future. Observation. In my observation, I think the correct vision statement can win over the workforce. Recommendations. Develop a vision and strategy that is clear and concise, that gets through to the masses, motivates, and guides employees. A clear and concise vision directs, aligns, and inspires transformation. Without the correct vision, change efforts can quickly turn into confusion, incompatibility, and time consuming projects that do not benefit the cause. That being said, as a starting point, I recommend our vision statement reads similar to this. Our goal is to become the world's leader in the defense contracting industry within the next 5 years. Being a leader in our industry means more business opportunities, more innovation that serves our clients' needs, and more income. Achieving this ambitious objective will probably require less focus on the organization's day-to-day support requirements, administrative duties, and employee morale. Achieving this goal will require the organization to focus on the client's quality of training and overall satisfaction. We sincerely believe that if we work together, we can achieve this transformation and in the process create an organization that will be respected by our stockholders, customers, and employees. Potential challenges: the masses may not understand or accept the vision. Things that we will need to do to be successful. The leadership will need to approve a vision statement that can be released to the masses. After releasing the vision statement to the masses, the organization will need to identify resistors and eliminate them from the equation. The fourth step is communicating the change vision, meaning the purpose of communicating in a transformation effort is to influence employees to think and act in accordance with the new direction. Observations. Everyone has company email. However, everyone does not check their email. Recommendations. Communicating the vision via different methods is the best way to get the message across. The strategy I would use to disseminate the vision would be in meetings, company email newsletters, and informal talks. The time and energy required for effective vision communications are directly related to the clarity and simplicity of the message. All employees have access to company email, information from meeting flows down to the lowest level, and there is no shortage of face to face encounters with employees. The potential challenges we may face: employees' level of understanding and acceptance of the vision. For people that have acceptance issues, we may need to remove them from the ranks. What the organization will need to do to be successful. To be successful, the organization will have to use as many vessels as possible in communicating the change vision. Also, the company will have to solicit feedback from employees on their level of understanding and acceptance of the vision. The fifth step is empowering employees for broad-based action, meaning this section, empowering employees for broad-based action, identifies and removes barriers that hinder transformation. This means that obstacles that delay or stop the transformation's vision or disempower team members with impractical and unattainable goals must be dealt with. Empowerment through broad-based action is a fundamental component of an effective and successful transformation. Observation: I have observed potential obstacles in the form of supervisors and employees not willing to accept change. Another observation I have picked up on is a lack of knowledge and skills from some employees. Recommendations: I recommend the following. We change some standard of operations that undermine the vision and encourage risk taking and non traditional ideas, activities, and actions. I also recommend that we remove barriers that slow or stop the change effort. One of the most important things a leader can do to begin removing barriers is to encourage followers to speak out on issues and solutions. Due to superiors' ramifications, followers are intimidated and scared to speak out for various reasons. What leaders are doing by sequestering employees' input is disempowering them. Employees that are not empowered feel deflated and useless to the cause. Potential challenges. The significant issue we will encounter is senior leaders and supervisors with management styles that prevent transformation. What the organization will need to be successful is throughout the change process, barriers must be identified and removed. The sixth step is generating short term wins, meaning generating short term wins means creating visible, clear cut success in the span of 6 to 18 months. Observation: achieving short term wins increases the sense of urgency and employees' confidence in the transformation. Short term wins provide evidence that the sacrifices individuals are making are paying off. Getting these wins helps ensure the overall transformation initiative's success. Recommendations: I recommend that the Guiding Coalition identifies a list of meaningful short-term wins that can be achieved in the 6 to 18-month time frame. Potential challenges: not establishing short-term wins or not achieving short-term wins. Running a transformation effort without serious attention to short-term wins is extremely risky. What the organization will need to do to be successful, the organization must identify significant milestones that can happen between 6 to 18 months. The seventh step is consolidating gains and producing more change, meaning this stage of the process is about capitalizing on the momentum of our short-term wins and keeping all the key players involved and motivated about the change initiative. Recommendation. My recommendation is for the team member responsible for the short-term wins to continue their involvement and for leaders to continue to support them. What the organization will need to do to be successful. The organization must build on the momentum it has achieved from the short-term wins. The eighth step is anchoring new approaches in the culture. One of the essential parts of a successful transformation is to make sure that the efforts are sustained. Changes tend to last when new behaviors are displayed in part of the formal and informal systems, practices, and habits that form the company's culture. What the organization will need to do to be successful. If the transformation is to last and be successful, the organization must show how the new transformation is working compared to how we used to conduct business previously. I want to close this presentation by quickly recapping what I have shared with you over the last 30 minutes. Our problem is we are not focused on what the client pays us to do. Our problem can be resolved through a change initiative. If we continue to ignore our issues, our company runs the risk of losing our most lucrative contract in Saudi Arabia. The 8-stage process that I have outlined will significantly aid us in a successful transformation.